be able to blow out one of these. One of the candles is out.
The Bull's Head Inn was built in 1802 to host the growing traffic of merchants traveling between central New York and New York City. In 1839, the Bull's Head Inn was purchased by a businessman and industrialist, Charles Corter, to be used as his private residence. From that point until 1966, it was known as Corter Mansion. The last private residents of the Bull's Head Inn were Mr. John Stacy and his wife, Mrs. Grace Stacy. John reportedly liked to drink quite a bit, and Mrs. Stacy was a member of the Women's Christian Temperance Union and loathed drinking. After they passed away, the Bull's Head Inn reopened as a restaurant and added a bar on the first floor, in the late Mrs. Stacy's bedroom. Visitors and staff alike have reported all types of paranormal activity in the building over the years, from children's spirits to Native Americans, and even the apparition of Mrs. Stacy herself. There were a lot of spirits here to attempt to communicate with. Our investigation would concentrate on the hot spots. The attic, a former Masonic lodge where psychic mediums have sensed the spirits of several small children. The red dining room, where once a patron told the story of a Native American apparition staring at him from the corner. The main staircase, where a ghostly figure in white has been said to haunt. And the bar, where the unhappy spirit of Mrs. Stacy is said to inhabit. There is a lot of energy in the attic. So much so that our cameras caught more light anomalies than ever before. Along with seeing some of these with our own eyes, we could feel the energy of this room as we investigated. Also, in this investigation, most of the evidence we captured was in the form of EVP, or electronic voice phenomenon. An EVP, or electronic voice phenomena, is most simply explained as a voice that we pick up on a digital recorder or camera recorder that we could not hear with our own ears at the time. They often sound like a breath or whisper, but can also sound like a regular man, woman, or child talking into the microphone. They can be young or old, speak different languages, and even have accent.
Down to the cellar.
It's very quiet.
Yeah. Super cool.
It's very quiet.
Yeah. Super cool.
I think the little girls, 3 little girls, want to play up here. Can you tell us what your names are?
We're nice people. I may sound like a loud dude, and I may be a big dude, but me and the other big dude here tonight, we're both really nice. You don't have to be afraid.
We were just downstairs in the bar basement.
The nicest one of us, his name is Tim. And you should go tug on his pocket if you're walking around the building at one point. Revenge.
Did one of you just touch my hair?
How hard?
Pretty hard. Did you want to tell me something? Did you like how my hair's put back? I know when I was little I liked to braid hair.
Take the picture. Take the picture.
Throughout the night, we caught several other audio clips that we feel are the result of residual energy. This energy is not reacting to what we're doing or saying, or even aware of us. This type of energy repeats, like a tape recorder, over and over. We were very interested in trying to communicate with the Native American spirit that has been reported in this room. The Bull's Head Inn was the site of 3 previous structures dating back to 1752, when the first log cabin was built on this ground. During the Battle of Cobleskill in 1778, the original cabin was burned to the ground by the British and local Native American tribes. The cabin was rebuilt twice more, and each one was also burned down. While setting up for the investigation, I asked the staff to keep some of the candles lit on the tables, hoping I could get the spirits to try and blow them out later in the night.
Can you turn on the candles? Show me that you're here. You almost got it. You can do that again. Blow out that candle.
After asking them to do this, I left the room and returned several minutes later, only to find that one of the candles was no longer lit.
One of the candles is out. One of the candles is out. There were 2 in here.
When we roll back the tape, we can see that the candle clearly appears to have burnt out on its own. You can see the flame slowly die out. If it had been put out by force, the flame would have gone out in an instant, similar to when you blow out a candle. So, despite our initial excitement, we have debunked this as not paranormal. This was also the room where we captured the same name on 3 different devices. Early in the night, the Ovulus picked up the word Jess. Several hours later, the name Jessica came through the Phasma box, just moments before we captured an EVP on our stationary camera, also saying Jessica. We do not believe it to be a coincidence that one of our investigators that night was named Jessica, and that she happened to be in the room the last 2 times her name came through. What the spirits wanted to tell her remains a mystery, but they were definitely trying to get her attention. Emily spent a lot of time at the top of the staircase, and while she never saw the woman in the white dress, we did pick up some EVPs.
That he would go against your wishes. That he would go against your wishes.
And, just like the attic, we also captured quite a few light anomalies. We spent a lot of time in the bar trying to communicate with Mrs. Stacy, the former owner. She was a member of the Temperance League, and thus very opposed to drinking. She cannot be pleased that her former bedroom is now in a bar. I was eager to remind her of this fact every chance I could.
What do you think of your bedroom being turned into a bar? What would your husband have thought of it? 80. Watch. What am I watching? You know what I'm watching? I'm watching me sitting in a bar. You, member of the Temperance League. What do you think about it? Like, they turned your room, bedroom, which is right over there, into a bar that I'm currently sitting in. I can't imagine how that makes you feel.
At one point, Tim was telling me about how the place looked when he was a kid. I was amused at the fact that they used to brew beer in what was Mrs. Stacy's bedroom. Apparently, not everyone in the room was equally amused. This next EVP was captured as I was moving back to the section of the room that features some artifacts of the previous owners, as well as an article about Mrs. Stacy. Is this voice telling me to leave her alone? In addition to these intelligent responses, we also picked up several more EVP in the bar area.
Yeah, I can do it. Okay. I feel like. Yeah, I can do it. Okay. I feel like.
The Bull's Head Inn is one of the oldest buildings in Cobleskill, New York. Even before it was erected, the land on which it sits was the site of turmoil and strife. Like ripples across the ocean, those events have echoed for over 200 years and still walk the halls of this building today. The spirits of children, Native Americans, and disgruntled former owners all still call this place home.